If you are building a house in the Greater Des Moines area, at some point, the builder is probably going to ask you, hey, do you have any changes that you would like to make to the electrical? Sometimes they do a plan walkthrough where you have a meeting and they show you the blueprint and where they have all of the outlets and the lights and all of those things. And sometimes they just make the plan and then they invite you over when it's time to install the electrical. And then you tour the house. It's basically just sticks, it's framed out, no electrical has been added. And you walk through the house and say, yep, there's going to be an outlet here, 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 and here. Do you want any others? And so then in each room, you evaluate what exactly you want and what you need and what is already standard and what might cost you extra if you chose to do an electrical upgrade. Common upgrades that we see buyers do when building a house would be a lot of extra outlets in the garage. The garage is a really common place to get extra outlets. And if you have power tools or, I don't know, big garage needs, you might need to have a special, like a 220 outlet instead of a 110 outlet. I'm not an electrician, so I don't exactly speak the lingo, but I know that that costs extra. A lot of people opt for under cabinet lighting. So that's a nice thing to add if you have the budget for it. And it certainly gives you great ambiance when you're living in your home. So you get to enjoy it. Plus, it adds a little bit of value later on when you go to sell your house. You might have a deep freezer or a hot tub or a sauna, something that requires one of those special outlets, whether it's a 220 or a 20 volt. Yeah, I know lots of words, just enough to make me dangerous, but those are things that you want to consider if you already own it, where you're going to put it in your new house and have an outlet there for you. If you have a treadmill or a workout area that you plan on doing in your basement, do you need any outlets specifically there for a treadmill or an elliptical or some other workout machine? This is the perfect time to add that outlet so that you can use the space the way you want to. It's also really common to add the Christmas light package. And so the Christmas light package is generally where you have like one outlet in the soffit, which would be like the roof that hangs over the side of the house behind the gutters. So you'd have an outlet in the soffit, and there would be a switch maybe in your mudroom or inside the garage. Like the location of this switch is, perhaps going to be different in every house, but you flip the switch from inside the house and it turns the Christmas lights on because it powers that outlet. Now, if you've been following my videos for any period of time, you know I like to ask my Facebook friends what they think about things, and then I will reference that in videos. It's great for creating content and also finding out what consumers truly want. I asked my Facebook friends if they wish that they had anything about their electrical setup, thinking their feedback might be really good for buyers who are going through the building process. Some of the answers had an imaginary endless budget where they wished that they had a heated driveway. I am going to guess, I don't have any idea, but I'm going to guess that a heated driveway costs a lot of money. It's just my guess. So the alternative to a heated driveway would be to find a house with a south-facing driveway. So then if there is snow or ice, the sun will work on melting your driveway off for you throughout the day. Or you could clean the driveway early in the day after the weather has happened, and then it's much easier for the sun to melt off. Somebody else said they would love to have radiant floor heat in their house. And I agree. Anytime I step on a bathroom tile floor that is warm, I just love that. And I also regret not putting it in when I remodeled my bathrooms. But my fear, and this is baseless and really has nothing to do with this video, but my fear when I was faced with the option of adding radiant floor heat is that what if it breaks? I'm not going to tear up the tile to fix it. So it's not even worth it. So those are my crazy thoughts on why I didn't put radiant floor heat in. And I do have a pang of jealousy every time I step on a bathroom floor that is nice and warm. So somebody said they would do radiant floor heat in their bathrooms. Somebody else said I'd heat all of the floor in my house. My parents have radiant floor heat in their basement. They never really use their basement. And once a year do they turn the floor heat on? So, it's a nice thing to have, but also how much are you actually going to use it? So you want to make sure that if you're going to invest in something that big, and I assume it's expensive to add radiant floor heat, but if you're going to invest in it, is it really going to be something that you use? I like to get value out of my money, right? One of my favorite suggestions that somebody had was to add speakers in the shower. So add like built-in Bluetooth speakers. So you can listen to your podcast or you can listen to your Netflix, whatever you're doing, you can listen to it in the shower. So of course, you have those little Bluetooth speakers that you can carry into the shower, but the quality would probably be a little bit better if they were built in quality speakers. One Facebook friend had a friend who put all of their outlets in the kitchen under the cabinet. So their backsplash was perfectly clean. It was just a nice tile backsplash with no interruptions from outlets. That's an interesting thought, although I'm not sure that I care that much about a backsplash being interrupted. I don't know that I would, personally, I'm not sure that I would invest in that one, but I appreciate the beauty of the design of it. In general, everybody who commented on my post wanted more outlets, and they wanted more outlets where it made sense. For example, they wanted an Ethernet. I know an Ethernet's not really an outlet, but somebody said, I'd like to have an Ethernet in every room. And I just recently sold a brand new construction house, and this is rare. I don't often see Ethernet in every bedroom, but this one had an Ethernet outlet in every bedroom, and the buyers loved it. They both work from home. So they had a 4-bedroom house. 2 of those bedrooms are going to be home offices because they don't work together. So they need their own private space for Zoom calls and whatever. But now they don't have to sacrifice their internet speed, or I'm not really sure what the difference is between being hardwired to the internet. Actually, I think it is faster. My computer is hardwired through the Ethernet cable versus being on Wi-Fi, which is sometimes not the most reliable. And maybe that's just at my house, or maybe that's just my understanding, but I do know that having that Ethernet cable in, especially in the rooms that you want to use as an office, is going to be really valuable. And buyers are looking for that kind of upgrade as well. So they didn't add it when they bought this house. It just happened to be in the room, but I thought it was a great addition by the builder. So where else should you put your outlets? We had votes for outlets in the pantry, and not just one outlet, multiple outlets. So if you have a walk-in pantry, it might be nice to plug in your blender. Like, think about the appliances that you don't often use and are kind of big and bulky to carry from out of your pantry into the kitchen. So maybe a crock pot if you wanted to just set something aside to cook, or if your counters get really busy during holiday dinners, it might be nice to have one of your sides cooking in the pantry in the crock pot. Or yeah, I said blender. Then there's that big mixer. I mean, those KitchenAid mixers are heavy. So I keep mine in the corner of my countertop. That'd be nice if I had some space in a walk-in pantry and a plug-in that I never had to move it. Although then that might spray food all over your pantry if you get, one of those wicked mixes. So pros and cons to all of those things. But people were voting. They wish that they had more outlets in their pantry, outlets in their walk-in closet. So usually your walk-in closet is just a closet. A lot of times there's not even a register for, air conditioning or heat. So I would actually suggest getting a register for air and heat in there because, well, I think it's nice to have airflow in the closet, especially if it's a big closet. But think about if you have a big closet that is a walk-in closet and you are getting ready for work, you might need to iron your shirt. You might need to steam it. So, having an outlet in your closet is really useful. I have some other clients who charge their phones in their closet. So that's the charging station, and it keeps the phone away from them while they sleep. So they have a very distraction-free life. Someone said that they had recently added an outlet under the bathroom sink so they could put their blow dryer away without unplugging it. Now, of course, if you're going to have an outlet near water, you're going to want to make sure that it's GFCI protected. And I'm sure that this one was, but she thought that was amazing. She could just put her power tools under the sink without having to unplug them. And you know how it is. You have to wrap the cord up. Oh, time saver. Then in the bedroom, having more outlets by the nightstand. I don't know about you, but I have a lot of things plugged in. I've got my phone charger, which actually it's my phone and my iWatch charger. I've got a nightstand lamp. And then I'm old school. So I also have an alarm clock that I don't use, but I like to be able to see the time in the middle of the night. So I've got that plugged in as well. That's already three. And then I think one of we have an external camera that's right outside our bedroom. It's like looking on the backyard for the security system. And so that's actually plugged in inside of our bedroom. So outlet space is at a premium. And usually you only have like two outlets. So we have one outlet that has two plugins in it. And so I have the security camera plugged into one, and then I've got a power strip plugged into the other. So not only having your outlets at nightstand height, but make them a quad, have more than two plugins, four plugins, even better. I wonder, then you could have a couple of power strips. Electric blanket. You need if you work in bed, you're going to need a outlet for your computer. It's always better to have more than one outlet. So let's add lots more in the bedroom and make them nightstand height. Someone else suggested a fireplace mantle outlet. Now you might be thinking, well, of course, there's usually already one there for the TV. She's not talking about the TV. She wants an outlet underneath the mantle so she can decorate for holidays. So she can have something plugged in under the mantle that is not related to the TV, and you don't have a cord hanging down the fireplace. That's cool. And then don't forget the outside lights. So I can tell you from personal experience that one exterior outlet on your back patio or your back deck is not going to be enough, because of course you have your party lights that you're going to put up, your twinkle lights, or whatever fun lights you put up. And then we have a water feature that needs to be plugged in. And then if you go outside, you want to maybe bring a radio out that needs to be plugged in. Although, why do I have a radio that has a plug-in? I don't know. I do. I just know that having one outlet is not enough for all of the things that we want to plug in. And then if you're entertaining people, we have a fire pit area. And one time I had the girls over and it was a crisp fall evening and I had like a crock pot and other things to plug in. It was a mess, an extension cord mess. And then thinking about being outside, well, wouldn't it be nice if you had an outlet on each side of the house? So I did a final walkthrough recently, and I think there was just one outlet outside, and it was next to the air conditioner, and it was sort of on a hill. Maybe there was an outlet out back, but regardless, there were not enough exterior outlets. So maybe you don't want to have a weed eater that runs on gas. Maybe you need a weed eater that runs on electricity. They're much easier to start than those. My little noodle arms aren't getting those gasoline things started at all. So having more outlets everywhere on the exterior would be found valuable by most people. I don't remember if I mentioned this part. I know we talked about the Christmas package where you have the light in a closet inside and it turns on the one outlet in the soffit area for your Christmas lights. But what if you wanted to decorate your porch? Is there an outlet on your porch or in the soffit on your porch so that you can have twinkle lights there or a lit up tree? Something that requires electricity would be nice to have somewhere to plug it in at. And maybe having outlets in the soffit that are not necessarily tied to the Christmas package might be a nice addition. Another suggestion was from a man who likes to clean his cars in his driveway. And so he thought it would be great if there was an outlet option halfway down his driveway so that he didn't have to have extension cords running from the house out to the driveway while he cleaned his car. And that also might be nice during the holidays if you want to put lit up trees in your yard. You may also want to consider adapting to the times. We are living in a smart world. So, does it make sense for you to invest in smart outlets or smart lights or Wi Fi compatible things? I'm not entirely sure what all of those options are because I live in a dumb house. It was built in 1987 and it's not that smart. But we have like adapters for things to make them smart. So we're also old school people, so we don't really use them a whole lot, but it might be cool if we had that option. I can tell you, I do wish our house had USB outlets. So that house that I told you about that had Ethernet outlets in all of the bedrooms, they also had outlets like in the kitchen, I remember seeing, and there were probably other places that I can't think of off the top of my head, but they had, a regular outlet that had two plugins and it also had two USB plugins. So how awesome is that? Where you can plug your phone charger in just the USB cord right there and charge your phone instead of having your phone charger take up one of those outlets. So I think that's pretty cool and might put it on my honey-do list for Mr. Right to take care of. Obviously, if you were to add all of these upgrades when you're building your house, your electrical budget is going to be over the top. So choose wisely, choose what you think you will need, think what you will want, because guaranteed, no matter what you decide on today, in the future, you're going to wish you had something else. You're going to regret one of the options that you did choose. And, those are always things that you can add in the future. It might not be so easy to add more outlets in finished rooms, but, you can throw enough money at any problem and solve it. So if you find yourself wanting to make an upgrade after your house is built, or you live in an old dumb house like me, we have a list of electrician vendors that we'd be happy to share with you. And you can call them and see if there is a way to get the electrical upgrade that you're looking for done. So if you'd like a copy of that list, let me know and I'd be happy to email it over to you. Talk to you soon.